Hello and welcome to PD6S channel. Uh, I'm starting another project and I kind of figured I might do a video series on it. This is going to be part one. I have not gotten all the parts in yet, but it's going to be a retro build. By the brown color you can tell I'm going with like a prototype build. I got in all the stuff early to go ahead and do what I want to do with this stuff, and that's I'm going to sand it and paint it to look a little bit more like Bakelite, and I'm going to do the bayonet to match, so hopefully that turns out well. If not, these are cheap enough and plentiful enough, I don't care about fucking up an M7 bayonet. But anyway, I figured before we did that, it might be nice to do a video on the Brownells retro furniture as it comes to you. This is the brown. They make brown, green, and black. I went ahead and bought the brown even though I knew I was going to paint, because stuff like the inside of this grip will be brown and I don't have to spray paint up in there. Like, it will get some spillover, and like this edge here will definitely be painted, but as far as like deep down in there, no, it won't. Okay, same thing on these. I'm not going to paint the inside of this at all. I'm going to set them on a table like this and spray the outsides. So, little details like this top edge are going to be brown because I bought the brown handguards. That's what I think is nice. This color of brown is not right at all for the retro guns. If you want to see what that looks like, go look on my Instagram. I've put up some pictures of some builds from Ar15.com and a few other places around the internet, just, you know, kind of showing people what I was aiming for with this. It's more like a purpley brown Bakelite color. It's much different than this. What I'm going to do is buy some Kona brown Rust-Oleum paint that I've seen some people use online, and I'm going to try that. If it doesn't work, I don't know what I'm going to do, but worst comes to worst, the good part about spray paint is you can always strip it. And even if I had to go with this without paint, I still would probably pick the brown because it looks pretty rad. The paint will help hide some of the imperfections on this stuff, like these marks. They didn't look like that on the old stuff. I'm guessing it's because these are Zytel and not, what were they? They were like a glass-filled nylon or something like that in the past, and Zytel's a little different than that. And if you go early enough, they were like fiberglass, which is much different. And like, for those who don't know, these handguards changed a lot. I had a set on my M16A1 parts kit to E1 conversion build that I did, that were like from the early 70s, that were 100% different from an actual E1 kit that I bought, and I held on to it for a while and then sold it off to somebody. I was thinking about building it out, but I just couldn't ever find the right lower to put on it, and didn't like it enough to keep it for the ridiculous amount of money I sold it for. Let's put it this way, I sold it for enough to build 3 retro guns, probably, because it was a legit Vietnam bring back full parts kit. It was missing like 1 or 2 small parts and the receiver, and that was it. So that gun had totally different handguards than my later 70s handguards. They were more like what the grips and the buttstocks were made of back in the day, kind of like a Bakelite material. I would call it fiberglass if I were going to call it anything, but I think most of those handguards are either completely destroyed or in museums, and they got replacement handguards. That's why you don't see those that much. In the right light, if you got bright enough light on them, you could see that they were green. Like, when you dye stuff black, you usually pick a color that you're dyeing it that's so dark that it looks black. A lot of people will do like purple. This is why the Russians ended up with plum furniture. Apparently, the Americans chose to do a really, really dark green to make their M16 handguards black in the early 60s. Which may be a direct result of them having green to start with on the 601s, but it's a whole different story. Anyway, these handguards, when you held them up to really bright light, like I have in here right now for filming this, they were so black they were like a green color. I can't even describe it. Anyway, so if you're looking to match those really early handguards, these aren't your thing. For the later ones, I'd say they're close. They're not 100%. For me, for what I'm wanting to do, I'm wanting to kind of make a cool retro shooter. It's not going to be 100%. If it was going to be 100%, I'd have to have a different front sight base, a different lower, and different handguards. I could do that eventually, but I don't think I'm going to. It's just more effort than I want to put into it. And this is going to be kind of like a hybrid between the Ar15 prototypes that are out there and like an M16E1, which is kind of my favorite of them. Anyway, we'll talk more about that later, but for now, the Brownells retro furniture comes in this funky retro looking box. The box is what it is. I like that they have some information on it, and I don't know, it looks like they actually want to make this stuff in perpetuity, not just like a short run or whatever. That'll be awesome. The grip, I think, is fucking fantastic. Especially the black ones will be perfect. They don't have the modeling that the real ones have. Like, I've seen my M16A1 parts kit came with a perfect condition one, and it was black. Every other one I've ever had or bought had that modeled Bakelite appearance to it because it was in storage or whatever. Like, just time is not kind to most of these. So in my opinion, the Zytel ones that Brownells is making actually look more like these would have in the 60s. The buttstock has some good and bad things about it. First off, it comes to you. Let me get this off. It comes to you with this off, which it comes on and off easily, which makes it really nice for, like me, I'm going to paint it. This comes off with a pin. This will be really easy to paint. It was one of the things I was actually concerned about because on the originals, this piece was rubber. It was like a hard, like 1940s, 50s boot rubber, sole rubber. On this, it's more of just a Zytel. It's not rubbery at all, which does make this, in my opinion, inferior to the real ones. But you could not remove that to paint at all. Like, I think they're glued on, to be honest. So at least you can remove them. And it has this weird honeycomb thing inside that I'm not entirely sure why it's not permanently affixed in there. But I think once you have a buffer tube and the end plate on and all that, it shouldn't be an issue. But it's weird to me that this comes out. Oh, the other thing I did want to talk about too is this awesome fucking bolt carrier group. I really like chrome carriers. That's just my personal preference. I think Eugene Stoner had it right originally with these. And to be honest, I'm going to be using these in my modern builds from now on. Now that these exist or are on the market, like I got this for $100. And it's a bitchin' MP HPT tested fucking bolt, chrome. Like, I think this is a perfect bolt carrier. They make one with serrations and without. Now that you can buy this without serrations, I might start building guns without forward assists. The forward assist isn't really necessary. I've always kind of liked having one just because why not? It's not that much extra weight. But if I can get this cool fucking retro carrier, my current builds might start using these. And something like Aero Precision has an upper that is a modern upper without a forward assist. So that's probably where my future builds will be going for a modern gun. Not that I really build that many modern guns anymore. I built so many retros that I really kind of prefer playing with those. It's sort of like building classic cars or something. It's cool. Anyway, this was sort of meant to be a before shot of the furniture and the bayonet. In part 2, I'll show off the finished paint job and I'll talk about exactly what I did, because I will know by then what I did. Because at the moment, I have some vague ideas. Basically, sanding Kona brown and then clear coat over that. But like, there could be 100 changes that happen in there that I don't fucking know about yet. We'll see. My upper and lower receiver are from Nodak, and they are supposed to be delivered today to my FFL, so I'll go pick those up later today. I got the Nodak prototype upper with the with the charging handle in the carry handle, the trigger style. That'll be pretty cool to see. The lower is actually a M16E1 lower, so it's still sort of prototypey, but like not from the same era as the upper. And you know what? I really don't care. This is my just for me build. It's gonna look cool enough when I get done. I have no doubt that other people will want it. When I build stuff like this, I don't keep it forever, usually. I keep it for a while, I play with it, and I end up selling it off. So whenever I build a fucking retro gun, one of my chief concerns is, how am I going to sell this thing? Or, you know, what does everyone else think? Because at some point, one of them is going to end up buying it, and it'll be a lot easier to sell if it's something everyone likes. And to be honest, that's why this isn't a carbine build. For some reason, the retro carbines are not as popular as the full-size M16s. I would think it'd be the other way around. But I think maybe it's like the carbines are just like so much of an individual thing, like, you know, as to what you want. Whereas the rifles are all kind of pretty standard. Oh. Like this prototype thing won't be, and it will be more difficult to sell because of it. But if it was a M16A1 clone or an M16 clone or an M16E1 clone, it would be fucking ridiculously easy to sell. Especially with Nodak uppers and lowers and all the new Brownells parts. You guys don't understand how good you have it now with all this shit. Like, the furniture, I could always find furniture. But shit like this didn't exist. You could not buy this. And now it is $100. The barrel assemblies. My God. I paid $300, I think, for just a barrel with no barrel nut assembly, no front sight assembly. I had to have the front sight drilled onto the gun by a local guy, and that was a whole ordeal. Yeah, and these, the ones from Brownells, which I haven't ordered yet, I'm waiting on some funds, basically. Anyway, the ones from Brownells, though, are coming complete with a complete front sight base, complete barrel nut. The only thing that's really wrong about them now is that the front sight post is an A2 post and not an A1 post. And that is such an easy thing to fix. Like, I don't even care. It's like a $5 part and, 5 minutes with the elevation tool. Just screw it in, screw it out. Some of the things that annoy me a little bit about the retro barrels, they make them in 1 in 12 twists. Like, there's one SKU is in a 1 in 7. All the rest are in 1 in 12. That one that's in 1 in 7 is sold out. And I think will be for the foreseeable future. So I'm going to build this gun with a 1 in 12. I don't know how that's going to turn out, but it'll give me something to make a video on too. So I intend to shoot it and my 1 in 7 side by side with some different ammo and see how big of a difference twist rate matters. I don't think it's going to make that big a difference. But you never know. Sorry, I keep yawning. What else? Oh. Anyway, so back when I built my first gun, the barrel itself cost more than the complete barrel assembly from Brownells. And then I had to pay someone, I think it was $100 to do the front sight base install. And you had the cost of the barrel nut and the front sight base. So that ended up being like $500 almost just for the fucking barrel that now you can buy for $250. And actually I have a coupon code for $20 off and free shipping, so it'll be more like $230. I'm probably gonna order that later this week, maybe next week. I had someone try to fuck with my debit card and I had to kill it. So I actually can't buy anything right now online without jumping through some hoops. And I jumped through some hoops to get this Brownells shit because of Black Friday. Black Friday, this is normally $150 and it was $100. So I'll take that. And this furniture set was normally $80, on sale for $60. And there were a few other things I don't remember. Like, that were basically ended up being a couple $100 off my whole fucking order. So that was good. Anyway, my thoughts on the fucking Brownells stock set, though, is that they're awesome. Stay tuned for part 2. We'll see how this looks painted up. And then we'll take it from there. I don't know exactly what the next videos will be after that, because I need to get parts in and whatnot. Hopefully this will be a fun series. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.